Wrong button. Hello and happy Thursday. Welcome to Bahnsen Knights. Bahnsen Knights. Available now on the Xbox Store for $9.99. Hello, Mr. Coolness. Thank you for that resub. Very much appreciated. Cadillac says hi. Hello, Shih Tzu. Let's check out Bahnsen Knights. What do you say, Cadillac? Alright. Game has 24 achievements for the 1000 gamer score. Yes, Mr. Cadillac. I trying to be a hero. Other stories. Mothman. Barney Lake. What happens when I play Mothman? What? Is Mothman installed on this? That's weird. I don't want to do that. Quit. New game. Remember, save the game from time to time. Dong, 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 dong. Episode 1. There's something heavy in the air. Some kind of tension. Not just silence that follows his pauses. It's expectation. The son of a beep knows how to talk. Dozens of other people listened to Tony's sermon with tears in their eyes. After each pause, they wait. Suspense making their pulses race. And Tony knows. Tony, Tony, Tony. You notice the way he waits before starting certain lines. Hello, no pulse. How he builds up the crowd's energy and makes the most of every silence. ... Although you've heard his speeches before, you can't help but notice there's a certain magnetism in his words. Remember that before the storms, Tony had been a used car salesman. Did you know that the idea that hell is below was etched into the Western subconscious by a 14th century poem? Tony claims that more than 500 years ago, the devil sat behind Dante and decided the verses of the Divine Comedy to him, Da Vinci. It's my water, Cadillac, not yours. Hello, NXT. Welcome. Cadillac, I can't see the way you're standing. You look around. Hi. You can feel the contained energy, and you know it won't be much longer. Where do you think the tornadoes that plague our country come from? Don't be fooled. You close your eyes and feel the hairs on your arms stand on end. Hell isn't below us. Huh. No. Not beneath our feet. You crazy son bitch. Hell is above us all. People recognize the end of the sermon, and you feel like something finally breaks. A huge amount of energy gets released, and the clamor is deafening. Hey, Lack, I want to take a picture. Dude, move your head. You wonder if this is the same crowd. You wonder if this is the same crowd that could be... You wonder if this same crowd could be heard over the passing of an F5 tornado. I don't think about F5 tornadoes. Trying not to draw too much attention, you walk away from the scene by scrolling to the other side of the barn. Strolling, not scrolling. Jeez. You light a cigarette and take a few drags. You still hear them cheering. Yes, hi. You grab your head. What were you thinking? You didn't infiltrate the Bahnsen Knights to analyze their leader's sermons. You need to know what happened to Kupra. You think of your partner, of the work at the agency, all the beers you shared. Hi, Cadillac. Kupra is the godfather of your three-year-old daughter. The day she was born, he promised that whatever happened to you, he would be there for her. You feel an emptiness in your stomach, and you try to think of something else. I still can't understand why you smoked that brand, Boulder. Tony! You're startled back into the present. You didn't hear him coming. I needed some air. Here. Grab the keys, okay. Tony shakes a keychain close to your face. Well, that's rude. You don't really seem to have a choice, and grab the keys. Is there something wrong with my Sierra? No, it's not that. Today's sermon was intense. I need you to drive my Sierra. I need you to drive me in my Sierra. What about mine? Should I leave it here? Yeah, don't worry. Tomorrow, a new driver joins the group. And we're going to use the barn for the baptism. A new baptism? This soon? You stare at Tony, looking for a sign. Nothing. Not the first time Tony's had someone drive him in his car, but it's the first time he's asked you. Let's hurry before everyone heads out. You walk to Tony's Ford Sierra and get into the driver's seat. Is Ford Sierra real? What is a Ford Sierra? Ford Sierra. Ah, it is real. It was a European car. Kind of almost looks like a Taurus, but the two-door is weird. Manual transmission. Oh, there's a four-door. Kind of like an Escort, maybe. Not sold here, so I'll sit in the back. It'd be weird if somebody was driving my car and I was sitting in the back. I need to stretch my legs a bit. You turn the keys and hear the engine roar. Cadillac, lay down, please. Step on it. Don't be shy. Why did he ask you to drive him? Why not ask one of the others? Could it be because he found you near where the cars were parked and just wanted to hurry? And what was that about? A new baptism? Based on what you heard, neither candidate's ready yet. Even though you try to focus on the route, you can't help but think that something is wrong. A doubt forms like a cloud in your mind. What does Tony know? Tony must be lying down because you can't see him in the rearview mirror. Raffle? Raffle this. What's Tony doing back there? You can't just drive with your back to someone like him. You push hard against the steering wheel to force your back into the seat. You try to look over your shoulder. Stay in the lane, Boulder. You look ahead again and straighten the car. Was Tony laying against the rear side passenger door? You're sure the voice came from that side. I am playing this game. That's what I'm doing. And hello to you, Boo. But how did he notice the car deviating? Hi, Cadillac. The Sierra had barely moved from the center of the lane. Turn on the radio. You don't know what Tony is doing back there. Music might help you think more clearly. You turn on the radio. Static. Yes, we do. You feel some movement in the back. Oh, we're at channel 66.6. Good evening, sub. Leave it there. Listen. You recognize the song, and a chill runs down your spine. It's an old blues song about betrayal. You focus on the song's lyrics, and everything falls into place. Tony knows. He knows you infiltrated the Bahnsen Knights. He knows you're investigating what happened to Cupra. The son of a knows. So what would he do now? Would he just wait until he got out of the car and shoot you in the back of the head? Your grip on the wheel tight with both hands. Tony would never kill anyone inside of his Sierra. You think of your daughter, of Cupra, of the promise he made you that no one would ever fulfill. Boulder, the truck. Everything happened too fast. And although Tony wasn't killed instantly, neither of you survived the frontal collision with the truck. What the heck just happened? Someone talking about politics. Not what you're looking for. You don't want to hear the sports results either, and you keep looking. You can't turn the dial to the right anymore. Politics. Static. You feel some movement at the back. Leave it there, listen. Boulder, what are you doing? Sorry, but you know the rules of the Bahnsen Knights better than anyone. The driver chooses the music. Tony laughs, and something about it calms you down. Right? Static. One of your favorite songs comes on, and you let go of the dial. You don't know if it's because how Tony laughed when you mentioned one of the Bahnsen Knights rules, or because you're listening to the first song you danced with Eva. Eva! Whatever the reason, you start to calm down. Before you know it, you're singing the song under your breath. Come on, Boulder. Louder. Pumped up by Tony's words, you start singing out loud. Don 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 sh. When you finish, Tony starts clapping. Listen, tomorrow's an important day for all of us. I moved the baptism of a new driver forward because there's someone who's not going to be sticking around. The others were going to take care of him before going to the bar. Who was Tony talking about? And what had this nameless driver done? Would they do to him the same as they did to Kupra? Again, this feeling of emptiness in your stomach. But let's focus on the positive. Tomorrow, you'll have your first route. Exorcism. Happy, Boulder? You try to smile. To hide the shaking in your left hand. The rest of the trip you do in silence. You know what? You'll have to be more careful than ever if you don't want to be discovered. Dot dot dot. You park near the entrance of the bar. Get out and open Tony's door. Tony slaps you in the shoulder and smiles. You enter the bar. Tony nods towards the counter and winks at you, and then vanishes through the door in the back. In Danny's, the beer is free for the Bahnsen Knights. Let's go to Danny's. Old Danny had been one of the group's first drivers. After his tragic death, his son, Kevin, had taken over the bar. Kevin despised Tony and his followers. But even with their differences, he upheld the agreements with the Bahnsen Knights. Does Tony know what Kevin spit in every glass of beer before putting it on the counter? Ah, that's gross. I don't want that free beer anymore. You hear someone swearing to your left and see a group of men walking away from the Glenvelt dartboard. The dartboard was Kevin's idea. Each customer is allowed to throw one dart a night, but not the Bahnsen Knights. Tony had taken care of that. The Knights can throw as many darts as they want and try to make a Glenn's eye. Not a bullseye? You know he's not going to spit in your glass. Kevin was Cooper's friend. And something tells you that Kevin knows you're nothing like the rest of the Bahnsen Knights. You finish your beer and stretch your back. You look over at the door in the back. There's something Tony said you can't get out of your head. Starting tomorrow, they'll let you join the Holy Cross. You and your Ford Sierra will participate in the route exorcism at last. That's weird. Episode 2. You place your hand on your chest and suppress the burp before it reaches your mouth. Gross. You adjust your seat and muster the strength to embark another day. It's been over a month since your first exorcism. You don't know how much more you could take. You still haven't discovered what happened to Cupra, nor have you found the evidence necessary to incriminate Tony. You lower the sun visor on the passenger side. Anguish constructs your chest. Neither heartburn nor the burning sensation in your esophagus troubles you anymore. You experience a shapeless pain. Pain that doesn't cling to the body, but rather to the absence of anything. Ollie, you focus on the drawing. On those marks that still feel close to you, yet are part of a different life. You recall Eva's laughter upon seeing how Olivia depicted you. I got some stubby arms, one fat leg. Eva pointed to your belly, and you fiend offensive. I like you're falling, dude. Don't fall. You would scold her for mocking your child's artistic abilities. Eva would ask you to put Olivia to sleep, giving you a playful wink. Hey. And you would lull her to sleep, watching her fight the pull of slumber, aware that Eva awaited you in the other room. You gaze at the holy cards. Are these like baseball cards for church? Sometimes you wonder if the agency complicates matters unnecessarily. Each saint represents a specific area of investigation, and the holy cards serve as a means to communicate with your handler discreetly. You shut your eyes, and you believe you catch a glimpse of them. You start the car, knowing that the road numbs your consciousness. Dude, pick a lane. Cooper once told you that he used to fall asleep listening to a tape of White Noise on his Walkman. What did I click? It helped because white noise encompasses all the frequencies audible to humans. The perfect place for those voices that kept him awake to get lost in the crowd. Dot dot dot. Have you read Poe? Cooper held Edgar Allan Poe in high regard, and it felt like a personal affront every time you told him that you hadn't read him yet. He glanced at the passenger seat. Would it be enough this time? The idea of using holy cards in the investigation couldn't be more apt. After all, you perceive every communication with your handler as a prayer. He's just looking at you. You walk with great strides. You remember Eva. How she mimicked the rhythm of your walk and laughed while doing so. There they are. Eva. 1954 to 1981. Olivia. 1978 to 1981. That's sad. It was your handler's idea. When you heard it, it seemed like a bad joke. You couldn't believe what she was proposing. Erecting the fake graves of your wife and daughter in a local cemetery. Okay, they're fake. Still weird. Your handler said it was a perfect cover. Your wife and daughter would have been killed in a road accident, which would explain your disregard for life and self-destructive impulses behind the wheel. Two desirable traits among the Bahnsen Knights. However, the true brilliance of the idea lay elsewhere, and that was to name them after your real wife and daughter. As an undercover agent, you would have no contact with them, and you can harness those genuine feelings of loss to make your cover more convincing. Geez, the emotional... the emotions that you would feel going through that. You gaze at your daughter's grave. Even though you know no one is buried there, the date evokes a profound sadness. And you avert your eyes. You're aware your handler chose your daughter's grave for the exchange because that reaction is common to most people. It's difficult to confront the death of a child. This is not Arkham Knights. The receipt is for 20 cans of red paint. That's a lot of red paint. You know that Tony paints huge crosses in his barns. And although the receipt is not evidence in itself to convict him, it could prove valuable to forensic accountants. After the storm season, and some security issues that followed the humanitarian crisis, the government issued a curfew prohibiting movement, except for those with a special permit. And hello, nighttime. Welcome to the daytime. How had Tony managed to get a permit issued in his name? Father Mario was a healing priest from La Mansa, Argentina. There's a famous phrase of his, "I am the guitar, God is the guitar player." I don't want you playing with my strings. The agency uses Father Mario's holy card to catalog the actions of Tony's acquaintances, and thus build a case against the entire hierarchy of the Bahnsen Knights. Saint Cajetan of Thien, patron saint of administrative officers. The agency uses his holy card to catalog accounting documentation. Mary Undoer of Knots. Doer of Knots. What the hell? Is an allegorical representation of human difficulties. The knot symbolizes those problems that the Virgin helps to unravel. Okay. The agency uses her holy card to catalog documentation that seems to have been forged or obtained illegally. Back. Select a card. Oh wait, what were they? Mario. Catalog actions, okay. Left. Evidence. Curfew. You assign the evidence to the holy card. My shirt says Anaheim. It is a Violent Gentleman shirt for the Ducks. Moose. Select holy card. Right. Sign evidence. Copy of receipt back. No. Back. Alright, back. Select holy card. We want to select left. Left? No. Right. Assign evidence. Copy of receipt. You assign the evidence to the holy card. You leave the holy cards in the grave, and you retreat the way you came. Would the evidence stack up this time? Did you build a case with this new information? How much longer will you endure the Bahnsen Knights? However desperate you are to find out what happened to Kupra, you long to go home. You want to embrace them, kiss them. You miss them so much. You yearn for Olivia to draw you, for Eva to laugh at you, to put Olivia to sleep, knowing that Eva is waiting for you in the other room. Oh, look at those eyes. The Sierra gets in front of you, and you manage to brake at the last second. F you. No, F you. Vincent smiles, and you barely stop yourself from stepping out of the car to punch the grin off his face. You think of Kupra, and one of the exercises he taught you to survive as an undercover agent. It's a mnemonic trick. You have to imagine a sort of continuum for each person you interact with. Some sort of bar divided into 7 equal parts. Follow me, Boulder. You look at Vincent. And you can imagine that bar. The beginning of the bar represents full confidence. The end, total suspicion. That point where they are going to accuse you and discover your true identity. You don't know who I am, bro. You apply Cooper's trick to all the Bahnsen Knights. Apart from Tony. With Tony, you never know where you stand. Bar or no bar. You hear Vincent rev the car's engine. Vroom, vroom. He wants to see us. You grit your teeth hard. And you take comfort in thinking that if the evidence is good enough this time, it won't be long before you get back to your family. Nothing's working. Come on. Goalie laid an egg. Episode 3 and no achievements yet. Sus. There it is. Make a Glenn's eye. Oh, I didn't do the darts. Sign the first evidence correctly. I guess I didn't do that. Get hammered. Vincent steps on the gas. You can't afford to fall behind. The old roadblocks are long gone. Ever since the storm started, everyone, police, firefighters, even FEMA, for a while, have been dedicated to the reconstruction effort. Or at least that's what they're trying to do. Resources are scarce. And politics never up to the task. Who's pinging me in Discord? In a context like this, with official actors attempting to manage the chaos, para-government organizations emerge. Cooper's mission was to infiltrate the investigation Tony and his Bahnsen Knights, a group that caught the agency's attention due to their growth in the wake of those first tornadoes. Hell on high. Tony's messianic delusion. The agency isn't concerned with the religious ideas of the Bahnsen Knights. The agency is interested in the power they've acquired. Economic power. As well as territorial. The road leading to the barn is gravel. And despite bumping your head against the car's roof multiple times, you refuse to let Vincent gain too much distance. You hit Luca, and he falls backwards. I didn't have time to react. He rushes at you, brandishing a knife. Despite the others trying to stop him, the blade hits its mark. He stabs you in the stomach. The wound is deep. You suffer before the darkness takes you. Okay, I died again. Luca, you hit the brakes just in time. You crazy mother bleep. Reflexes, 35 gamer score. Avoid an accident. Nice. Forever on my card. Your heart is pounding. You know, there's no room for even a moment's distraction when dealing with the Bahnsen Knights. You step out of the car and let them park it for you. Don't park my car. You know they're going to tease you about this, but you also know you have a role to play. You're Boulder, a big, calm guy. But with a self-destructive urge gnawing at your core. You're an iceberg from which 2 chunks have been torn away. And the current carried them off, never to return. Your handler had recommended you use the cover story to your advantage, arguing that pity is one of the most powerful resources when it comes to diverting attention. Good afternoon, John. You look at the Bahnsen Knights around you, and you can't help but wonder. Compassion? Pity? Empathy? Will these 3 characters be able to feel something like that? Keith was the eldest amongst them all. And half the stories about him were true. He would have a guaranteed place at Satan's side. Wow. Luca, who you almost ran over a few minutes ago. You're pretty sure there must be a language somewhere in which Luca and Psychopath are ethologically linked. Yeah, I don't know that word. And Vincent, a sadist who's never heard of the Marquis de Sade. Self-taught, a natural-born sadist. And therefore, much more dangerous. Hello, Havor! Thank you for that raid. Welcome, Raiders. Today we are checking out Bahnsen Knights, available now on the Xbox Store for $9.99. Havor's got that good clip there. Sorry. I was distracted for a second. Don't worry, Boulder. At least you didn't kill me. Yet. Although Eva and Olivia's death were part of your act, the fiction, you can't help but feel a rage that threatens to consume you. Bull Sherlock Sleuth. BSS? You glance at Vincent, who shakes his head back and forth. You start to say something, and Keith clears his throat. Stop effing around, you two. You know why we're here. Tony wants to exercise a new road. End of the first period. Tie game. I'll take it. But I recommend you bury your demons deep. And pay more attention next time. You look at Luca, and Luca smiles. What's up, Boulder. Do you fancy me? No. On the contrary, you want to cover his face with bruises, turn his expression into a Rorschach stain, and not worry about what you may or may not see in it. You fancy some pizza? Pizza sounds good. Hey! Vincent points towards the door of the barn. And the three of them suddenly become serious. Why so serious? And how are you today, Horror? Speaking of Rome, Tony and Monique, the librarian. Monique is Tony's trusted lieutenant. Not too bad. I'm doing good. Playing with the new toy. Has RGB, so it's even better. It's a Turtle Beach. It's like Turtle Beach's version of this Elite. It has triggers, or paddles, trigger stops, all effect sticks, so we'll see. Surprisingly light, which I'm still on the fence about how light it is. But so far so good. And I haven't got the screen to work. There's a screen in the front. But I just synced it to the Xbox and a PC today before stream. A woman of a few words. I like the weight of the Elite, though. And who you doubt knows how to smile. Yes, it is lighter than the Elite. Very much lighter than the Elite. Listen to me. By now, I reckon we all know the signs. Why are his knuckles covered in blood? A new tornado is approaching our roads. What's a tornado actually mean? I think it's something different. And we're not going to let it pass. It does mean something different. Tony goes over everyone's roles in the exorcism. Unconsciously, you position yourself on the outskirts of the group. Do these guys really think they can influence the path of a tornado? Boulder, listen to me. Today, you go first. But Tony... Tony looks at Luca in the eye, and Luca looks down. Fine, then. You nod. What are you waiting for? You run to the Sierra. Before you get in, you steal a glance at the barn. Steal a glance? Just look at the barn. What was Tony doing in there? Whose blood did he wipe off of his knuckles? You mark the position of the barn on the map. As soon as you had the chance, you go back to investigate. A new exorcism on the road. Weird. And this was the first time you'd be out at the front. The most important position in the formation, for which you need the total confidence of the rest of the drivers. You always found it hard to read Tony. Assign you to the top of the cross? So they drive in formation of a cross? Why give you that role? You gaze at the sun visor in the passenger seat. No, this isn't the time to seek solace in the drawings. nor to think about how much more time until the extraction. You start the car and rev the engine. Vroom, vroom. I rev my engine, it does nothing. I don't have an engine. Hoping that the roaring noise will drown out even your own thoughts. Again, driving in the center of the road. Dangerous. Exercise road, okay. What am I doing? After the initial impact, a chain reaction crash unfolds. I just moved! Your car somersaults in the air, and your hands instantly cover your face. Your final reluctant moment, you hold on to thoughts of Eva. Despite your resistance, darkness finally envelopes you. Okay, interesting. Oh, come on. I hit the wrong one. Retry. Move right, slam on the brakes. Crash the resistance. I made it. The tornado weakens. How is driving 4 cars in the formation of a cross weaken a tornado? What? Your heart races, flooded with excitement you can't explain. You roll down the window. I am a road warrior. And only the horns of the Bahnsen Knights can be heard on the road. Chapter 4. It's not the first time it's happened to you. As soon as you walk into Danny's bar, you feel like you're floating. Like you could see yourself from the outside. And you're someone else. Look who's here. The illusion soon shatters. You try to smile and return the greeting. You're Boulder, an undercover agent investigating a religious cult led by Tony. Looking for answers about the disappearance of Kupra, your dear friend, and godfather of your daughter, you miss little Olivia so much. Your eyes itch, and it's not because of the smoke in the bar. You take a breath. What are you going to do now? Go to the bar. You walk to the bar. Kevin continues to do his thing without looking up. Order a beer. You drink your beer in silence. It's the first one of the night. Although your handler's strategy is smart, you know you can't drink too much. There's a point at which no matter how well you can hold your booze, you're gonna start talking. And on that borderline between what's fact and what's fiction, you run the risk of someone pulling the veil. Move! Get out the way! Get out the way! Get out the way! And everything coming to an abrupt end. Order a beer. The second. Order a beer. Third. Order a beer. Order a beer. Order a beer. Order a beer. You burp and try to settle into your seat. Kevin shakes his head from side to side. Enough for you tonight, Boulder. Dizzy as you are, you think maybe it's for the best. There's a man you've never seen before sitting at one of the tables. His face covered, and you wonder if he's hiding from someone. But isn't it true that we all hide from someone else? I don't hide from anyone. Play darts. Close. Whoever gets a glance eye wins a shot of a single malt whiskey. And it's customary for the winner to pour the shot into their eye. Cooper used to say that to get a glance eye, you don't need to think. That when you think, your mind tricks you into seeing things more simply than they are. You don't have to worry about aiming and visualizing and imaginary crosshair. All of these are just mind games. Crutches of the imagination. What you need to do is listen to your body. The body knows, Boulder. Throw another dart. Oh my god, way off. 20. $30. 20. 10. 30. This is also after having 7 beers. This is tough to get the bullseye. Use the force. $30. Ooh! That was close. Oh my god, I've gotten 50 a few times. Oh my god, that is like so close. I wish I could actually aim it. Oh. Oh, that was close too. Like, watching that crosshair go around is annoying. 50. Hi, Jordan. 50. Alright, a few more tries. I can't move my hand. Yeah, all I could do is up and down to hit throw or back. And that crosshair doesn't look to have rhyme and reason. What? Was that a 50? 50s. 40. 10. 50. 30. 30. 20. $10. Come on, just circle in right there. I felt like I had it, but I wasn't on the aim dart.
Oh, what an idiot!
Rip physical. Yep. Layoffs suck. I've been part of them multiple times in my life in the corporate world. It happens. I mean, sometimes the clients just aren't there. Correct. Ooh, 50. 40. Oh, come on, that looks like a bullseye. 50. My severance packages were pretty good both times, but it still sucked. Exactly. Oof. 50. I mean, not a bad way to do that. Alright, enough darts. Leaving already, Boulder? Yes, I've had 7 beers. Why don't you come here and chat? You make a hand gesture and walk to the door. Exorcisms on the road. Sonic delusions. Sadists at the wheel. Both times I was laid off, I was brought back to the same company, but kept my original hire date, so that was nice. Mike's moving to an island somewhere off the grid. I doubt off the grid, because he needs his WoW. Or Diablo. And the constant threat of being killed. How much more of all this could you take? Episode 5. I wonder how many episodes there are. Your waist hurts. You feel a burning in your esophagus. It's not a good place to feel a burning. He'll just keep his suitcase of cash off the grid. I mean, he lives, well, works in Irvine, which is not a cheap place to work. I think he lives in Koto de Kaza, which is a very expensive place to live. And the onset of a cramp in your left leg. Like, Koto de Kaza is where some of the Ducks players live. That expensive. You try to remember happier times. Times when you awoke differently. Eva used to rise before you. The first thing that would greet you was the aroma of coffee waiting you from the kitchen. That's a great way to wake up. The wife has that ready every day. After a while, she'd enter the room with 2 steaming cups. She'd set them on the bedside table and place a kiss on your lips. Coffee would stop steaming and cool in the cups, but neither of you would particularly mind. Years later, Olivia would arrive, and the mornings would be different. Not better nor worse, just different. Suddenly, breathing becomes a struggle. That's a bad sign. A profound sense of loss engulfs you. It's as if Eva and Olivia were no longer there. As if the accident had really happened, and you could never see them again. You shake your head. How much did you drink last night? We had 7. Whoever left you the note had done a good job. The fact they did it without you noticing bothers you. You step outside the car, and the morning's chill takes you by surprise. Mile 54. You think about the graphology classes at the agency the meaning, event wind within each stroke. Yet, beyond any theatrical, no, I can't say that word right now, discourse. You recognize the sender of the message. Could it be actual evidence? You look around. Cars off the Bahnsen Knights rest like a cattle in the field. Before their circadian rhythms kick in. Vincent sleeps. That's better. You look away, a fear of waking him up. I mean, it's insane every company that's been hit this year. Like, we're 25 days into the year, and there's been so many layoffs. All of a sudden, the Bahnsen Knights, Monique is the one with whom you find it hardest to strike up a conversation. And it's matched all of 2023. That I didn't know. You're not surprised. You were never good at talking to women. You think of Eva. If it wasn't for her, you two would have never had a first date. You can't stand Luca. His attitudes, the way he talks to people. That giggling, hee hee. You remember your high school years, where, unfortunately, you crossed paths with several people like him. You don't want to wake anyone up. Last thing you need is for any of these sociopaths to tail you. And you only start the engine when you figure out you're good and far down the road. But you push the car? Mile 54. What's Tony after at mile 54? Your stomach grumbles. And it's a gloomy thought. And a gloomy thought crosses your mind. What if this was your last shot at breakfast? Go get food. You try to think of the Bahnsen Knights territory. The number of barns with that giant red cross slapped on the wall. Yes, with a buyout of that large, of course, there's going to be layoffs. Multiple positions are the same and they align. The writing was on the wall for that. It just sucks for the people involved. But it's always a numbers game. What would all this look like from above? Upra was always on about the gap between the map and its territories. And he'd shake his head when you said you still hadn't picked up Orgus, despite his prodding. You order a black coffee, eggs, and bacon. If this is your last breakfast, you won't be missing out on anything. All of a sudden, appetite's gone. You drop your fork on your plate and wonder if maybe it'd have been better to never have tasted happiness in your life. Whoa. You feel the dampness in your eyes and the quiver in your hands. Happiness. That's the worst drug. Withdrawal hits harder than a freight train. You just want to head back home. You wish all this to be over. How much longer you gonna hold out? Upra had it figured. More than a few times, he yammered about time being the biggest foe for an undercover agent. What was that line he just couldn't quit repeating? Reality's just an illusion we've gotten used to. What the? The evidence you left on your daughter's grave is no longer there. But 3 holy cards are. Father Mario, a holy card used by the agency to catalog the actions of Tony's Circle. Saint Cajun of Thene. used to catalog accounting documents of the Bahnsen Knights. And Mary, Endurer of Knots, used to catalog material that could have been forged. Along with these holy cards, you find two new ones. Our Lady of Health and Saint of Expedus. Fucking hell. You bend down to pick them up, and you feel a great sense of helplessness. What on earth is your handler looking for? More evidence that Tony's a son of a... Isn't it enough to know Kupra's gone? And Kupra? Did he find anything? Or had he simply been discovered? Your head's spinning, and you try to concentrate, almost as if nature was giving you a sign. You spot the shadows slipping away under the light of the midday sun. Oh, come on. It's time. The road meanders gently, and you think of Eva. How'd she sway her to her jam, all graceful and free? It's a stone's throw away now, and you ease off the gas. And there it is, finally. Thought you weren't showing up. You smile. You never considered that option? Gibson's good. I think we need better defense. Here we are. At mile 54. And it ain't just who've crossed paths at this point, huh? You familiar with the backstory of the Bahnsen Knights? You'd like to tell him yes. Spill that you're an undercover agent, and that there's a fat file about it back at the agency. They need Howard. Howard the Duck? Buy a ticket to see the looks on his face. Ask him about your partner. But you just shake your head. Hold on a sec. I guarantee it's going to be worth your while. Back in '83, there was this curious happening. 2 F5 tornadoes nailed the heart of the county at the same time. Remember what they blabbered about their paths on TV? It's tough for you to admit. But it only took them 3 sentences to hook you. You remained silent and let him continue telling his story. I was working as a used car salesman back then. My town took the biggest punch. One tornado slashed it south to north. Later, another one swept southwest to northeast. This way, like a cross. Got saved by a fluke. Tony takes a pause. Town was pretty much wiped out. My boss was a son of a... Mark Fisher. Mark Fisher? You scour your memory for that name popping up in the agency dossier. And I ain't just tossing that out. You know what Monique says about objectives, right? You don't. But you're glad to have a new topic of conversation with the librarian. Anyway, Mark owed me commission for my last sales. He knew I needed that cash, but didn't give a damn. Once the sirens quit wailing, I hooked it to the office. Sift through the debris, clinging to the hope of scooping up anything. But I found nothing. cash box was busted open. Never found out who swiped the money. It wasn't Mark. He'd died in the storms. He'd? Wouldn't it just be he? Something snapped in me. I started tearing everything apart. Like a third tornado ripping through the damn offices. Must have caught the glint of metal. Behind a picture frame was a key. And a legend. Mile 54. I figured Mark had other stuff going on. So without thinking too much, I left the office. And I started looking for Mile 54. Got any clue how many Mile 54 markers litter this county? You shake your head and Tony grins. Started off with the closest one. And I didn't find anything. Kept at it. And after a while, landed in this spot. The barn was padlocked. I got the key. I couldn't believe my eyes. Tony is played by John Travolta. Felt like I'd stepped into Heaven's Gate. Sierras stretching as far as you could see. Well, that's why they all drive Ford Sierras. Which is a UK version of a Ford. My boss had them imported from Europe. Okay, so they're in the US. And for some reason, he couldn't sell them just yet. Know what a cross is, Boulder? A cross is an intersection. A meeting point. Two tornadoes. A guy and a batch of imported cars. Tony takes a pause. His stare's intense. It's hard for you to bear. But also two friends. Or a pair of foes. Each of us carries more than one cross. The keys, knowing which one to flaunt to others. Silence gets heavy. You don't dare break it. Yeah. Rude. Shall we go back? You nod. And Tony's words rattle in your head. Episode 6. Press anything to continue. Not any key, anything. Well, I don't want to get into another episode right now, so I think this is where we're going to end today's stream of the Bahnsen Knights. Available now on the Xbox Store for $9.99. I'll be back this weekend in the afternoon. Not sure what or where. Well, I know where. What or when. But I may post it tomorrow. Have a great rest of your Thursday. Stay safe and happy gaming.